Not Worth the Time with Wade Taylor. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Not Worth the Time. We're here. We're doing it a day late and a dollar short. God damn it. I've just been so inconsistent with this. But who gives a shit? You know? We're just out here having a good time. We're having a blast, you know? Dealing with what we deal with, you know? Welcome back. Hope you guys had a wonderful 2 weeks of not listening to me yammer. This is just an Easter egg. It just drops in now and then. You guys are like, oh yeah, I forgot I subscribed to this thing. That's what this is. It's just a nice little, just like, hey, popping in, checking on you. How's it going? Good. Everything's fine. Man, I hope you guys had a good couple weeks. I did. I finally had something eventful happen at the office, you know, because it gets so boring walking in there. Every goddamn day you go into that soul-sucking building. I hope you guys have, like, nice office buildings. I have a really nice office building. I really do. You know, it actually has all the nice amenities of a nice thing. Not as good as Google's. Not as good as Google's, you know, where they got slides and ping pong tables. You know, where I work isn't on that much of a front. You know, they're not into you having that much fun, okay? You know, every quarter they break out bags for you, or cornhole, depending on what part of the country you're from. You know, they're not too keen on making sure, you know, you're having too much fun there. You know, that's why Google got in trouble. You know, same with Twitter. Twitter got these employees. They just got too many nice things. That's why Elon Musk came in and fucking said, hey, the fucking fun's over, okay? And he cut, what was it, like 90% of the staff or some shit? I don't know. He did some major cuts there. There were some people who had some 3-year leases probably on some properties there in old San Francisco at the old Twitter headquarters who were all of a sudden not able to pay rent, you know? They were going to look down on, they're going to be one of those people who was going to be marking where they shit in the streets on an app here pretty soon. God, it's wild that they have a poop app in San Francisco. If you didn't know that, look it up. But I digress, you know. We have a nice building, you know. Nice run of the mill, you know. This is a place you come to work, but hey, there's free coffee and sometimes you get some donuts, you know. There's a kitchen, full kitchen. Not every building has their own kitchen. Sometimes you got to leave. And the only thing close by is a Burger King. And everyone knows that's like your 8th choice of fast food. Yeah, you're just going down to a crazy, you just have to settle so much if you're working in an industrial park. Woo. Office building, yeah, I'm glad there. I'm trying to talk myself into how much my office building actually rules. You ever known somebody who has like it? They work a legit corporate job, nice corporate job, good benefits, everything like that. I think they get the good benefits because they work in an industrial park. Ooh, one of the saddest places to have an office, right? You go there and they're you're just in the middle of, like, surrounded by cornfield. There's nothing but cornfields as your neighbor. You know, you look like it's part of Area 51. You look like you're working in a military building that's doing some secretive shit, okay? And maybe that's what all these industrial buildings are. They're just fronts for the NASA and their alien research. I mean, it's bound to come out here soon. If we watch enough of these hearings, we're going to find out, you know? That's probably what all they are. All these industrial parks aren't anything. But, man, it does not look... I've been in one industrial park office space, and it's brutal, man. It just you're like, ooh, this is rough. You're like, yeah, but I basically could break my femur right now and not pay a dime. That's how good the health insurance is here. Really? So you're telling me if I just deal with 4 cement walls like I'm in an insane asylum, I could have the best health care coverage of all time? That's how they're doing it, cutting costs there so that you can provide a well-oiled health benefit package. Anyway, so I like my office, right? It's got the good amenities, okay? It's like, you know, it's decorative, it's got some art, it's got some history for the... Anyway, I digress. But it even has nice landscaping, right? And this is where things got interesting for me, right? I'm just going on my normal lunch break. I don't go venture outside. They have all these walkways outside to try to get people out there to, hey, stretch your legs, you know, get that heart pumping, you know, rather than, you know, relax for your 15-minute 2 15-minute breaks you got, right? Why relax? Why go sit down and just get away from something or stand? No, go outside. and walk around, a little bit, and just stretch your legs. That's how you want to do your break after, mind-numbingly punching keys for your computer. You want to go outside and walk. That's what you want to do. So they have all these paths, right? I'm walking to go sit in a unused meeting room in complete solitude when I see two gentlemen on the path. And we even have a nice fake creek going through the middle of our complex. Just a nice fake creek that leads to a waterfall careening off the side. I'm sure it's lovely to go out there and sit by. Sure, the sounds of a babbling brook make you forget about this dead-end office job. Just the weight of the world crushing down on you. But this babbling brook, it's babbling about, it's not so bad. It's babbling to you, letting you know what's up, I'm sure it's great. And I see two gentlemen walking by, and I see I'm on the third floor of my building, and I see these two gentlemen walking out, and they're out by the waterfall portion. And they do this nice little feature where there's little stepping stones. They're long, rectangular blocks in between. So the water is escaping through each of the things, and it's a nice display piece, right? But you can walk over top of it like piano keys. Wade, what do you do if you're in a wheelchair and you're walking that path? You beats me, guys. Apparently, somehow, OSHA doesn't give a fuck about that. If you're in a wheelchair, fuck it. I guess you got to turn back around. You've reached the end of that path, I guess. If you want to get to the other side, you got to do the long scoop, okay? If you wanted to meet somebody and you accidentally went off the right path and they happened to be on the left side, that's where they were meeting, you're taking the long journey back around. They did not design it with that in mind, apparently. But, hey, to each their own, okay? I'm not here to shit on somebody's artistic views when it comes to building creeks. But they see these gentlemen standing out there. And one of these guys is doing something. He's fucking around. And there's these two little, they have little accent rocks. They have little boulders peeking out. You have the part of the path you're supposed to stay on. These rectangles, they're big, and you step on them, but there's enough space, There's about a foot and a half, maybe just a foot between each of these things, right? Where the water's going through so it can go off the waterfall. But then they have these stones on the other side right by the waterfall. And I see this guy, and he's a heavier set gentleman. He's Midwest healthy, okay? Midwest husky. You guys know what I'm talking about. He's not an overweight. He's an overweight fella, but he's not gigantic, okay? He definitely probably played O-lineman in high school, He's one of those guys. And he's standing on the rock closest to the waterfall, and he's straddling between that and then one of the rectangles. And as I see him do that, I'm walking by, and the intrusive thought won, you guys. And I spoke into existence. I said it out loud, watching this man straddle between this. I go, fall. Just out loud. If there was someone in that hallway, they would have heard me. I just went, fall. And by God, this man took a step back, trying to recover his step back from the boulder, back to get both feet on the rectangle. Lost his balance instantaneously. And foot right into the 1 foot space in between the pathway. Just full on, all the way up to the knee. Just soaked all the way. And this is halfway through the day, people. This is at 2 o'clock. He's got 3 more hours of work. And he's got to march all the way back inside with a wet pant leg and a fucking soaked shoe and sock. Oh, man. I have not laughed that hard at a job in a long time. I laughed uncontrollably inside that building, watching that man pull his foot out and then look at his buddy and shake his head like, God damn it. His buddy started laughing too. He checked on him, was like, oh, you didn't roll your hand? Okay, and then he got all the way to the other side, the solid ground, off of the rectangles in between the waterfall, and just started laughing. This guy was about to be embarrassed by his entire team once he got back in that building. The walk of shame. You better just hope that everybody else was working remote that day. This is just your buddy from another department. He's going to tell his coworkers, but they're nobody you work with. They don't know who you are. But I guarantee that isn't the case. Guarantee his whole team was in the office that day. And you got to walk back in with a half-wet pant leg. Ooh. Ooh, and it's not snowing out. You can't blame it like, oh, no, it's slush. I stepped in slush. My pant leg and shoe got all wet. I accidentally stepped. No, you got no excuse, bud. You just got to own that. I'd love to hear the lie if he tried to cover that up. Oh, just a fire hydrant exploded on me and, soaked only this leg from the knee down. It's crazy. My left leg's so much faster than my right. I was able to dodge it with my left leg, but the right leg just soaked. Yeah, I ruined this one. I'm going to have to get a new pair of Dr. Scholl's. This is terrible. The problem is, I laughed so hard at that, and the problem is I spoke that into existence. I made that happen. And now karma's coming for me, guys. Karma is going to bitch slap me one of these days. It's coming, okay? You can't speak that in. That's like making a mini contract with a demon, okay? That's just when you wish that kind of just like a little humiliation on somebody and watch it happen and then enjoy it as much as I did, you have to now pay a tax. Okay? And I'm fully aware of that. I don't want to be that. Normally, I never let those thoughts win. Like, that pops in my head, but I don't speak it. If it pops in your head, you just can't say it out loud. If you say it out loud, that's like saying the spell. That's when things are going to get fucked up because you're speaking into an existence, okay? I'm normally not always on board with this rah-rah manifestation bullshit, but when you direct that energy at somebody else, it comes out. And karma is there, and it collects. It comes to collect. There's an embarrassing moment coming my way. Just I'm going to trip like on a cord going on stage. See, I'm speaking this into existence. It's just because I know the tax is coming, okay? It's just like paying the government, okay? You speak something into karma, you pay the fucking tiller, okay? And you go, I want to see that guy fall. Well, guess what? You're going to be tripping on your own shoelaces here pretty fucking soon, bud. And that's what's upsetting about that to me. It was funny, and I enjoyed it. And I hope that guy didn't have any serious injuries. I know he didn't because he walked away fine. His pant leg was just wrong. Hopefully, he wasn't an expensive pair of shoes. That's what I just hope. I will hope he wasn't wearing some Jordans that he loved. That would suck. I would feel really bad if that's what happened. From my angle, it looked like a pair of the New Balances. That's what I swear I saw. So I think he's okay. But you can't speak that stuff in existence and not have karma also be fucking balancing the checkbook, okay? Karma is an accountant, and it makes sure that book is always balanced, and you're eventually gonna get put in the red. Because right now I put it in the black. I put it in the black, and pretty soon I gotta put it in the red and get that debit. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna suck when that comes. But for the time being, goddamn, that was funny to watch that guy get his shoe wet. Okay. I'm going to eat it on ice this year. That's what I know that's what's going to happen. I haven't had that happen in a while. Ooh, just slipping on ice. I've had that happen in college. That was the worst. We had a rule in our house, which is the dumb rule, but we did. We always shoveled out in front of our college house, shovel the pathway, shovel the sidewalk and the driveway like you're supposed to, right? But sometimes it just ice over. And the amount of times, we had the rule in our house, which is a gag rule but also very serious. If you slipped walking to class during the winter, you just turned around and went home. There was nothing that was going to happen after that day was good. Unless you had a test, you were just going to give up for the day and go right back inside. So many times, me or one of my roommates, we would walk outside, like, all right, see you guys later, middle of winter. And then 2 seconds later, be right back inside and be like, you fell, huh? Yep, this day's done. We just fucking, I'll give up. I slipped so fucking hard coming out of the house one time. And if I didn't have a fucking midterm exam, I would have turned right back around inside. But instead, I will walk with a stingy fucking ass. You know that feeling when you just fall on cold concrete? Just that slap where it's just now your fucking skin's tingly and red and just fucking weirdly throbbing. Ugh. Just a terrible way to go try to take a test. Now and you falling like that, I don't care if I studied the last 4 days in a row and have really felt good about that exam at that point. I knocked all the knowledge out of me at that point. When I fucking knocked the wind out of me slipping on ice, all of it. Just every bit of the amount of knowledge I had, I just coughed up in that when you hit the fucking pavement. So bad. So that's probably coming for me this winter. That's how I'm probably going to pay the tiller. Because I know what's coming right now, and that's not when karma strikes. It's when you least expect it. It's a cruel, cruel mistress when karma strikes, dude. But anyway, shout out to that guy. Hope your shoes weren't ruined, bud. But anyway, guys, I think now it's time to get into the thing I found this week, right? Woo! Time for story time, dude. And I found a doozy of a tale, you guys. Because it's funny to think this. The military itself, which is part of the government, has a legal department that represents the military. So you have what I would assume are people who served, enlisted with the Army, the Navy, the Marines, name whatever branch, but then also went on to study and become lawyers to represent said military, which is wild to me. And sometimes they have to sue people. I'm sure a lot of them are there so they can, I don't know, probably fight the lawsuits against the military, maybe. But sometimes they have to sue other people, like today's example, which is 3M agrees to pay $6 billion to settlement earplug lawsuit from U.S. service members. So 3M makes a shit ton of products. You probably have like 4 billion of different types of products that they have inside your house. Okay? And they make earplugs. I think I've used them before when I've gone hunting and stuff. It's probably the same ones that these military people use, or a version of them, right? And they had a bunch of problems with these earplugs. So let's read on about what's going on here. New York, AP, chemical and customer product manufacturer 3M said Tuesday it agreed to pay $6 billion to settle a lawsuit from the U.S. service members who say they experienced hearing loss or other serious injuries after using faulty earplugs made by the company. The settlement consists of $5 billion in cash and $1 billion in 3M stock. Will be made in a payment that will run through 2029. So through 2029, they're going to pay $5 billion cash and $1 billion in stock. Okay, it is, I have to point this out right away, hilarious that you now have stock that you have to keep probably, because I guarantee if you read in the fine print, like they have to keep the stock so long before they can cash it out. It's hilarious now to have like money, like you got $1 billion in stocks, right? And they divvy up between all these people who are involved in this lawsuit. So now a company that caused you physical harm and problems and ailments, right? Now you have a financial stake in the company. So you're watching the ticker like, God, like somebody else sues the company for something. You're like, God damn it, they're eating away at my settlement money. There's something crazy to me about that. You can just pay a settlement off with stocks and possibly have it affect the amount of money you get later because the stocks drop. That seems a little weird and not right for some reason. But what do I know? I don't know shit about lawyering or the stock market. So I called it lawyering, for Christ's sake. Like, I don't know anything about the stock market either. God damn it. So what do I know? I just think it sounds weird to me. It would be strange to be like, now you have stock in a company you just sued. Oh, okay. Can I sell it? Nah, not for like 4 years. Oh, so I just have to root that they do well and don't tank by then. That's exactly right, sir. You just have to make sure they don't file for bankruptcy within the next 4 years. Oh, cool. Hundreds of thousands of veterans and current service members have sued 3M and Aereo Technologies, a company that 3M acquired in 2008, over the combat arms earplugs. The service members allege that the defective design allowed the product, which were intended to protect the ears from close-range firearms and other loud noises, to loosen slightly, allowing hearing damage, according to Alali Stock, Wixon, Kresser, and Alzheimer or PLLC. I'm guessing that's the law firm. One of the law firms representing the plaintiffs. Wow, if I just kept reading, Wade, you didn't have to say that. That is one of the law firms. And I only know that because I've been watching Suits. Apparently, every large law firm representing people just has an obnoxious. That's the word I wanted. Man, see, why am I even reading this thing about a lawsuit in stock markets and all this stuff when I can't even say obnoxious right? You know what's obnoxious? Hearing me try to make jokes about this. Anyway, it's obnoxious how many names are there. That's what I've learned from watching Suits. That, and it's a lot of backstabbing, weird backdoor deals. I bet you Witkins went in a couple times. He's definitely the Harvey Specter of that fucking law firm, dude. Overholtz is just like Lewis. He's just in there fucking being weird and eccentric. And then Witkins, man, he's getting it fucking done. Wheeling and dealing. In the online summary of the litigation, the Florida-based law firm notes that 3M previously agreed to pay $9.1 million to settle a lawsuit on behalf of the government alleging that the company knowingly supplied defective earplugs to the U.S. military. And since 2019, the firm added 3M had lost 10 of 16 cases that had gone to trial, awarding millions of dollars to plaintiffs to this date. Oh, damn, so there was legal precedent. The other thing I learned from Suits, if there was prior lawsuits and the showing you lie, it just is a fucking domino effect. It's just like, well, it's already been proven in all these other ones that you fucked up. That's what all these people were chanting when they went into the thing. After they've already had these things, it's just like a WWF chant. You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up. Let's read on. Tuesday's agreement represents a tremendous victory for thousands of men and women who bravely served our country and returned home with their life-altering hearing injuries, attorneys representing the plaintiffs said in a joint settlement. In Tuesday's announcement, 3M maintained that the agreement, which includes all claims in Florida's multi-district litigation, coordination state court actions in Minnesota, and potential future claims, was not an admission of liability. I love that, dude. I love whenever anybody pays some shit off. Whenever anybody throws the money at it, like, we're just gonna fucking pay it, we'll give them money and they'll stop talking about it. They always afterwards go, but this payment is not an admission of guilt. Then why the fuck are you paying it? If it's not an admission of guilt, don't pay. This is what I don't get. They're just like, the press is worse than that. How much money is getting thrown around? Or if you go to your accountant and go, if I don't pay them $6 billion, how much will we lose revenue-wise? And somehow you're still coming out ahead by just settling it. That's wild. That's the amount of money that's going to fucking floating around and shit that you can't grasp. That makes no sense that somehow that works. The product at issue in this litigations are safe and effective when used properly. Oh, we're going to blame the victim now. Are you telling me service members don't know how to properly use their equipment that's issued by this military? Are you trying to tell me that the U.S. Armed Forces don't properly know how to handle their equipment? How dare you, 3M? The audacity of you. The audacity. 3M prepared to continue to defend itself in litigation if contain certain agreement terms of the settlement agreements are not fulfilled. 3M previously tried to reduce exposure to the earplug litigation through bankruptcy court. The Wall Street Journal reported in 2002, the company they acquired tried to file for fucking bankruptcy. Okay. Arrow filed for bankruptcy as a separate company, accepting responsibility for the claims, and filing was later dismissed by the U.S. bankruptcy court. Dude, they love to fucking do that sly shit. They love it. They acquired this company in 2008, so it's a separate company, but they're the parent company. So, and they were the ones originally helping make it. So what do? You file for bankruptcy and try to just be like, well, it was them, not 3M. Like, and the U.S. bankruptcy court was like, how about you pay the military people that you caused to go deaf? How about that? Let's do that instead. Beyond the earplug litigation, 3M in June agreed to pay at least $10.3 billion in a settlement over content. I don't even know what that is. Many American contaminating. Man, contamination. That's what that word is. I've never seen that spelled out. God, I'm stupid. Anyway, well, this is why you guys listen to this podcast, is to listen to a moron talk about lawsuits and things he knows about, right? That's why it's called Not Worth the Time, right? Lawsuits over contamination of many U.S. drinking water systems with potentially harmful compounds. The deal would compensate water providers for pollution with per and polyphosphate substances, also known as forever chemicals. Holy shit, when the fuck did that happen? I didn't know that was a thing. Where the fuck did that happen? I'm opening that in another browser. We'll get down to that in a second. The agreement hasn't been finalized yet, but the settlement could reach nearly as high as $12.5 billion. Last month, 22 attorney generals urged the federal courts to reject the proposal settlement, saying that it lets 3M off too easy, arguing that the deal doesn't give individual water supplies enough time to determine how much money they would need to get, and in some cases could stiff liability from the company to the providers. Oh yeah, for sure, that makes sense. Jesus Christ, I gotta learn about this. Go away, advertisement. No, decline, please. I would like to. 3M settlement, water contamination. This is the problem when you go down these rabbit holes with lawsuits, dude. This is from June, obviously. The deal would compensate water providers and pollution. Where did this happen at? That's what I want to know. Environmental things, March of the agreement. Claimed by Stuart, Florida. One of about 300 communities that have filed a similar lawsuit against the company producing firefighter foam, or PFAS. It's contaminant. Oh, okay. So it was like during firefighters. Company based in St. Paul. Okay. Damn, dude. Wild. That's wild shit, dude. You got to be careful out there, guys. Got to be careful with these companies and this product sometimes. It's okay. They fuck up, They said they didn't say they're sorry. Honestly, they said very clearly this payment is not an admission of guilt. So there you have it, you guys. Isn't that crazy? You would have never known about that. Maybe you did. Maybe you spend too much time on the internet like me. But this show isn't meant for people who spend too much time on the internet. This is meant for people to come to, so I waste my time looking at dumb stuff so you don't have to, and that's why it's called Not Worth the Time. And you can find other great shows like this at punandgame.com. That's right, guys. Punandgame.com is where you can find this show, Not Worth the Time. You can find Who Gives a F, hosted by Nathan and myself every Wednesday, and you can find a back catalog of all our favorite past podcasts that we've had on there. The Empty Parlor, The Grove, Monster Jamboree, Things About Stuff, all sorts of cool back catalog content for you to listen to. Hundreds of hours of content, guys. Check it out. You'll love it at punandgame.com. And guys, if you want to watch me and see me struggle to read through articles and be a buffoon, go to youtube.com and search Comic Wade Taylor. Comic Wade Taylor is where you can find this show, the video version of this show, Who Gives a F, and stand up for myself. You can catch my half hour I have out there, Wild Horses, right there on YouTube. So go check that out, Comic Wade Taylor on YouTube. And then finally, guys, don't forget to go to punandgame.com and go to the Pun and Game shop, where you can get yourself t-shirts, hoodies, and all sorts of cool stuff to represent your favorite shows here at punandgame.com. And don't forget to use promo code NWTPOD. That's NWTPOD, and that gets you free shipping at checkout. So go do that to support the show. It's the best way to do so, other than just hitting subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. It's great. Guys, this has been Not Worth the Time. I hope you guys have a fantastic next couple of weeks. Enjoy yourself. And remember, don't do anything I wouldn't do.